Hey guys, Red7 here back for another video. What's going on, guys? Today we're here back on my first island in my Minecraft Gotham City. So, yeah, last episode we were actually looking at the library, which is right over here with the lines in front of it. And, yeah, I gotta say it was a pretty good video, pretty fun to do. And definitely one of my favorite looking buildings. And now we're moving on to another building I do like to look at, and that is the City Hall. And the reason I like to look at it so much is just because my old one, which I had over on the second island, which made absolutely no sense because there's a bunch of industrial buildings over there and all that stuff. You know, I had City Hall over there, and once I moved my Monarch Theater, I talked about it before, I moved my Monarch Theater from here over to my third island, which you guys will see once I get to my third island. Once I moved my Monarch Theater, of course, I built this in its place because it made sense to have City Hall on such a bright, you know, it's kind of like the brighter side of Gotham on this island here. So, you know, we got City Hall here. It looks really nice. And my old City Hall, like I was saying, was about this high, maybe a little bit taller. It was, you know, a little bit shorter. And it didn't have these windows. It was just like, it was kind of like this, but all the way around. And it was like a smaller building, still the same sign, but like lower down. I didn't like it as much. And this looks a lot better. This is a bigger improvement on it, of course. This looks a lot better. So we got some windows going on all the way around the building here. Same pattern continuing all the way throughout, and definitely really nice looking here. So this is basically a nice view of the outside here. I'll just kind of keep continuing around. So that's the outside basically, and on top we've got you know, the casual you know, roof design that I always do. I've got like some fans or whatever right here, and then I guess these are like little mini chimneys or like smokestacks with smoke coming off them. And I may have mentioned this before, but the smoke in my world is kind of interesting because it all blows the same way in the wind. And you'll notice that once I get over to my second island, like with the Siona Steel Mill and Ace Chemicals, you can see the smoke is all kind of blowing in the same direction. And I did that on purpose, just so like the wind is all kind of blowing the same way. So you know, the wind is kind of blowing this way, and it's blowing the smoke that way. So that's kind of cool. So now we'll work our way down here to actually go inside the City Hall, because that's basically everything on the outside that we can look at. So now we're going to work our way inside City Hall right here. And here's like kind of like the front lobby here of the City Hall. We've got a front desk, and it's kind of has this thing on both sides, like, you know, double-sided front desk. I like making these. These are kind of cool. And I don't know what the person over here would do. I don't know who they'd be talking to, but, you know, still really cool to make front desks like this. I like making them where they're double-sided. And, yeah, so I did that. I got some chairs here. Now, I believe I may have some item frames and paintings back, so I may add some computers here. But I know before, when I built this, I didn't. And then I believe I found a building with like a bunch in there that I didn't even need, and I just destroyed them all, and now I have a bunch back, so that's great. So I may add some computers and stuff in here and make it look a little bit better. But yeah, so that's basically the front area for City Hall. You know, you got some tables and chairs right here to wait in case you're waiting for the mayor, waiting for like an appointment or something. And yeah, so now that's basically it. I'll give you a nice look at the room one more time, and then we're gonna go upstairs. So upstairs, we have got just some plain desks, and you know, just it's a plain office floor. It's just, you know, it has a bunch of desks on it, and you know, it's pretty plain but pretty nice as well. You know, I like the way the desks are designed and stuff. Really nice, pretty like I said, plain, basic, but really nice. You got some red carpets going through all the different rows and stuff, and overall just like a nice looking design. Pretty nice little office floor right here with a bunch of different desks. And yeah, so now we're gonna go upstairs where the references, no, they don't start yet. I was gonna say there's a references starting soon, but it's not just yet. Just hold on a second. But here is basically the city council meeting room, and you got a bunch of seats here for all the people on the city council. I say Bruce Wayne would be on that as well. So a bunch of stuff here for like the mayor, deputy mayor. Like I said, Bruce Wayne would probably be on there. District attorney maybe. You know, a bunch of people who are part of the city council. And back here, of course, you got a bunch of like tables with cakes on them and all that stuff. So you know, when you're done like you know, a big meeting, everyone can come back and have a little snack and you know, munch on some cake or whatever food. I couldn't put any more food back there because obviously, you know, no other piece of food actually does what the cake does and actually comes out like this and just kind of sits on the table like that. So I just kind of put some cakes there, but you know, let's pretend there's like a big buffet of food back there for the city council. So yeah, let's pretend that's there. So that's the city council meeting room right there. One last look at it right here. And now we're going to work our way up, if I can get through the door, work our way up to the next floor. So this floor is kind of like the first one we looked at, besides the the main lobby. And we got a bunch of desks here, but up here we have the district attorney's office, and I have Janet Van Dorn here, and that's actually a reference to the animated series, where in the episode, I believe it's called Trials or Trial or something along the lines of that. Batman actually gets captured. I believe he gets knocked out by Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and he gets taken to Arkham Asylum. So it's a really cool episode. It's one of my favorites episodes like ever. It's one of my favorites, and it's in season 3 if anyone wants to go watch it. But anyway, it's really good, and basically he gets into Arkham Asylum, and the district attorney Janet here doesn't like Batman. She doesn't agree with what he does and thinks that he's a vigilante, like most people. She doesn't agree with his methods and all that stuff. And it's kind of cool because what actually happens, the villains put her as Batman's district attorney, so she has to defend Batman as to why she used to claim that Batman created all these villains, that he brought them out into the light, that it's his fault that they're there. But basically now she has to try and defend Batman in this messed up court sequence with the Joker as the judge. Basically she has to prove that Batman didn't create them and they created themselves. And she actually succeeds, but they still want to kill Batman, of course. He escapes and all that stuff. But it's a really good episode, really good episode. And she was the district attorney in that, and I couldn't think of anyone I wanted to have in the district attorney's office besides Harvey Dent. And then I thought of that episode, and I said that'd be a perfect way to do it. So there's a little reference for you guys there from the animated series. And I believe that was the only episode you ever saw her, I think. I think that was like the only episode she actually appeared in. I could be wrong, but she could have made like a mild appearance, but that was the only major episode she was actually, in that she made it like a big appearance. So, yeah, we just kind of got this plain old office here. I didn't really know what to put in here. I could have put like some old Harvey Dent stuff in here, but I figured that would have been cleared up by now. So I just kind of left it blank, just a plain old office. And yeah, so I figured the name would be a reference enough. So now we're gonna work our way up to the next floor. So right here is the next floor, and like I said, offices and desks and stuff like that. And now we have the deputy mayor, and the deputy mayor I put here is David Hull. Now he was, I believe he was mayor at one point as well. Now what I'm pretty sure he's from mainly is, I know one thing he's from is Beware the Batman. Now I don't watch that show a lot. I had to actually look up the mayors of Gotham City. That's where I got my research, and you'll notice once we go up to the mayor's office, I have a bunch of different references to different mayors, and that's where I basically got it from. I found a page with a bunch of different listings of all the different mayors of Gotham City. There's been that many that there's a page on it, and pretty crazy. So David Hull was listed as one because he was actually mayor in Beware the Batman once. He was deputy mayor, which is what made me pick him, because not a lot of the mayors had been deputy mayors previously. That's why I picked him, so I could put him in this spot. But yeah, so he became mayor after some incident in Beware the Batman where Mayor Grange something happened. And anyway, yeah, so the deputy mayor is David Hull. He's from Beware the Batman. I believe there was some mention of him in New 52 as well. I didn't really pay attention to that. I didn't go into that, but I know he's in Beware the Batman. He's like one of the only deputy mayors I could find, so that was as far as I could get with deputy mayors, but still kind of a cool reference. Beware the Batman isn't the best TV show ever, but I still do. Near the end of the season, it was actually decent. I'll give it that. Near the end of the season, it was actually pretty good, because it brought in Two-Face, and it also brought in the idea of the outsiders with I believe it was Metamorpho and Katana and all them. And it was like Kirk Langstrom as Man-Bat, but he could talk. So it was kind of interesting. He brought in like a version of the Outsiders at the end of Beware the Batman the season. Of course, it got canceled after. Anyway, I'm rambling on, but it was an alright show, and I thought I might as well reference that because that was the only deputy mayor I could actually find. So now we're gonna come up here, and same desk layout, same thing. And now we come over here, and we got the mayor, first mayor, Hamilton Hill, one of the most notable mayors that I know anyway. And he was in the animated series, but he's also known as being a corrupt mayor, which is kind of disappointing because me growing up with the animated series, I knew him as just a nice mayor. There's nothing wrong with him. He wasn't corrupt in the animated series, of course, because it was it was a kid show. But anyway, yeah, I just kind of knew him as this normal mayor, and I discovered years later that he was corrupt. So it's kind of disappointing to see that Mayor Hill is a corrupt mayor. But hey, it's still one of my favorite mayors in Gotham City, even though he was kind of like one of those people who was with Commissioner Loeb and all them. He was one of those guys going against the law, bending the rules a little bit. So, I still have him as my mayor here, but of course, he was slightly corrupt. So I don't know how I'll portray him in my series, but we'll see. Anyway, let's move on in here, and I got a bunch of different listings of mayors, and I'll describe all of them and all the different references here. So here we have Mayor Theodore Cobblepot. This is actually Penguin's great-grandfather. And basically, he was the longest-running mayor in Gotham City. And, yeah, that's basically all I know about him. He was just, he was Penguin's great-grandfather, of course, because he has the name Cobblepot. And he was the longest-running mayor in Gotham City. He was portrayed in some, like, some of the storylines where they talked about Gotham in, like, the past, I think. But I don't know a whole lot about him, so I just kind of put him in here as a little reference to Penguin and whatnot. Next, we got Mayor Aubrey James. Now, this guy, not a familiar name, but he was the mayor, actually, in Gotham City when, in Flashpoint. Basically, when Bruce Wayne died instead of Thomas and Martha Wayne, when, Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, this is the mayor who is, mayor of Gotham City when Thomas Wayne was Batman. So, that's basically all I know about him. But, yeah, I thought I'd add him in here, just, fill some space, because I didn't really know a whole lot of mayors that were really notable for something. And this was kind of notable, I guess. I mean, it was the mayor in an alternate universe where Thomas Wayne was Batman instead of Bruce. So I thought that was kind of cool to put in there. So we got Mayor Aubrey James here. And next we got Mayor Marion Grange. Now this is interesting. This is an interesting one, because I knew Mayor Grange very well from The Batman, the show The Batman. I grew up with that show a lot, coming on TV. I used to watch it like every time it used to come on. When it used to come on, new episode coming Friday or whatever, I used to be there watching it. Good times, good times. So, Mayor Grange was, always the main mayor in that show, and I always thought of him as a male. And you might know where this is going, but in the comics, when I actually looked up some, the different mayors and I was picking them out, I read about Mayor Grange, and it turns out in the comics, Mayor Grange is a female. Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? Some of you might have already known that, but it was kind of crazy because I always portrayed him as a male, and I never pictured him as a female. I don't know. I always found the whole Marion Grange, like his first name, was a little bit off. I always found it a little bit off, but I found it was like, I was like, whatever, Some people have embarrassing first names. That's cool. And then, it turns out it's actually a female, so that's quite interesting, actually. And I found that kind of cool. That, one of the most notable mayors, I can't believe I never knew it, but one of the most notable mayors in Gotham City, probably the second most famous, after Hamilton Hill, was actually a female, which is pretty cool, really cool. That, it was one of the most notable mayors is a female. So that's really awesome, and I believe in the comics, she became mayor because Batman kind of like endorsed her, and she used to be district attorney. So she eventually became mayor because Batman was kind of like, yeah, I think you make a good mayor. And then everyone was like, yeah, let's vote for her. So I guess that happened. That's all they really said about her in the bio. There's a lot of stuff there, but that's kind of what I picked up, that Batman kind of endorsed her and said, yeah, I agree with you being mayor. You should do it. I doubt he actually got up and campaigned for her, but he probably told her that he thought that she'd make a good mayor or something like that. So that was kind of cool. So now we're going to move on over here. Mayor Quincy Sharp. You guys probably all know who that is. Quincy Sharp, former, oh God. He was formerly the warden at Arkham Asylum. I was thinking of the word warden. I couldn't remember the word warden for some reason. But yeah, he used to run Arkham Asylum and Batman at Arkham Asylum. And then he became the mayor in Batman Arkham City and put the whole, Arkham City project underway. So, yeah, he's pretty notable for that reason. And now I'm not going to have him as my mayor in this series. This is basically... this map is not based completely after Arkham City. There are some elements that I do reference Arkham City, or I do take some like slight designs for my buildings from it, but it's not like, this map is not based off Arkham City. So I just want to put that out there in case anyone was wondering. But yeah, it's just a reference, guys. For one of the mayors. Next we have Mayor Bruce Wayne. Everyone's probably like scratching their heads now, like, Bats, what are you talking about? Well, Bruce Wayne was actually mayor for a day. Don't know why. I don't know. Just saw that there when I was looking up mayors. It was like Bruce Wayne. I was like, wait, what? And it was like Bruce Wayne was mayor for a day, and that's all it said. Just that short sentence. I was like, cool. So yeah, Mayor Bruce Wayne? Question mark. And now we got the last one here, Mayor Stevenson. Mayor Stevenson was the deputy mayor, so I could have put him in for David Hull, but I didn't. He was the deputy mayor in The Dark Knight Returns, and he eventually became mayor after the first mayor got his neck bitten, and he died from the mutant leader in that jail cell. I remember in the Dark Knight Returns movie, it was really funny because the mayor was always like, still polling opinions, like the first mayor, the one that got his neck bitten off. Anyway, I kind of wish I knew his name, but I looked it up, and they said that he didn't have a name, but this guy did, Mayor Stevenson. He was the deputy mayor, and he ended up becoming mayor after the actual mayor died from the mutant leader. So I decided to put him in there as close as I could get to the first mayor. But I love that first mayor where he's like, still polling opinions, still polling opinions. Like, he was just a complete, he seemed like he did not know what he was doing, and that was the whole point. They were kind of making fun of that the government has no idea what they're kind of doing here, and it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to see. So now we're gonna look at this little board back here, and I've got a couple more references to talk about. New district attorney found. That's a reference to Harvey Dent, dying, or not dying. What am I thinking? Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face. Yeah, Harvey Dent died, guys. No, Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face, and a new district attorney, which is Janet Van Dyne, or Dorn, in mine. I don't know what Van Dyne. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of Wasp from. Wow, their names are really close. Wasp from the Avengers. I'm sorry, I just went like completely Marvel on you guys just then. But wow, like Janet Van Dyne, Janet Van Dorn. That is so weird. They're so close. That is kind of creepy. Okay, anyway, yeah. So new district attorney found. That's a reference to Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face. Arkham City denied. Another reference to Arkham City. No, I'm not doing it. This is the proof that I'm not doing it, because it's denied. It was, it was probably proposed and denied. Kind of like in Lego Batman 2, where they kind of say, oh yeah, the plans for putting a giant mega prison in the middle of the city were canceled today or something. Like, I remember Vicky Vale was reporting on it. She's like, glad that didn't happen. That would be a disaster. It was so funny. A little reference to Arkham City. So I got something like that here as well. Just kind of saying that it's not going to happen. And yeah, it's kind of denied there. And election in 4 months, just something a mayor would have on his board there. So anyway, guys, that's basically it. I apologize for taking so long doing the references. I like to ramble on and talk a lot, as you probably know. But I'm sure that's fine, because you guys probably learned something today, hopefully, that you didn't know before. So, yeah, be sure to like and subscribe for more content and whatnot for Gotham Cities. Next, we're going to be doing the big one, Wayne Industries. I'm probably going to go through all this, all my Wayne Industries before I do the video and make sure everything's good. So, the video will be up in a couple days, I'd say. But, yeah. Anyway, guys, like I said, be sure to like and subscribe for more Gotham City content as well. Check out my friends, GothamBat759 and XXWolf55XX. I'll leave their channels in the description below for you guys to check them out. They're good friends of mine who do Gotham City stuff just like me, and I think you should check them out if you enjoy what I do, because they do stuff similar to mine. So, anyway, guys, I keep saying that. I'm Bat7. I'll see you guys all later. Peace out.